Hey everyone, it's Psychopath1, welcome back. As you can read from the title, I'm going to be reviewing a movie not a lot of people know about, uh, unless you really dig into the internet for like funny British comedies, uh, comedies that are tributes to horror, or just plain comedies that have to do with just over the top stuff you know could have never happened. Well, that's what this film is. Freak Out. Um, as you can see right there, they dressed him up like uh, Jason. They gave him the hockey mask and the burlap sack, but then they also gave him a orange jumpsuit. Uh, Pretty much, this. Long story short, the film is about a horror movie geek by the name of Frank Duty. No, not Frank Duty, Merv Duty. Um, he loves horror movies, can't get enough of them, and uh, what happens is uh, he loses his ID card when he's going to get some movies from the local video store, and what happens next? A psycho Not really a psycho killer though, a mental patient ends up finding the ID card, going all the way to Merv's house and leaving him scary phone calls like 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the gate, open the door, and I'm just like, okay. And he eventually gets a call from a customer service place for a survey. Uh, and he thinks it's the weird guy, and he ends up saying, "You know what? Leave me alone. It's people like you that give other people a bad name," or something like that. And she shoots herself, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty damn funny." Um, and Merv ends up finding out he's got dirt on his hands, so he decides to. I don't see why he just doesn't wash his hands. He takes a full-on shower. And here's where we get the horror odes. Um, uh, it's like a Psycho, like the movie Psycho, where he's washing his hair and everything, and then he gets out of the shower, and he's getting ready to put on his clothes. And before he puts on his clothes, he ends up shaving, even though he has no facial hair whatsoever. And then he ends up hearing the shower turn on, and he opens it up, and he's got his straight razor in his hand, and then you see the mental patient taking a shower with his gown on and a potato sack over his head, and he's just showering, and then he looks at Merv and he's like, "Ah!" And then he faints. And like, it's a stupid comedy. That's the best way to say it. It is a stupid comedy, but I couldn't help but laughing at it. And it's definitely a good DVD too. More than a good DVD, it's a great DVD. It comes with all those special features, and I watched all of them, even the Easter eggs. I can't get enough of this movie. This is probably one of my favorite comedies. My top five. Um, Number five is this. Number four is Detroit Rock City. Number three is Big Money Rustlers. Number two, Big Money Hustlers. And number one, um, probably would have to be uh, Harold and Kumar. Because I I could watch Harold and Kumar over 1,000,000 times and I'd still wouldn't get bored. Uh, that's all my top fives. It says Train to Kill by Idiots. Pretty damn funny. And Merv also has a really idiotic friend by the name of Anki, which, if you look at some of the special features, there's a skit where you find out what Anki's last name is, and it happens to be rape. So, play on words right there. Anki rape. uh, and he wants to make a profit off of the mental patient, and Merv, he just wants to create a serial killer out of this mental patient. But he's a vegetarian, and he's a non-violent person. So, Merv tries to get the mental patient to be very violent, and it makes an ode to Karate Kid with a wax on, wax off thing. Uh, he's pretty much making the mental patient do all his household chores, like washing the dishes, cooking for him, cleaning, and doing all this shit. And he's saying, well, this is part of your training. Wax on, wax off. And there's also other horror odes in here too, even though Karate Kid isn't a horror movie. The bowling alley where Merv's friend Anki works at is called Salem's Slots, and I think that's pretty cool. For those who have never read Salem's Lot, it's a really good vampire novel. It's, I think, 600 pages, maybe 700. It's a good book, though. Long, though. And if you have the small print version, it's even longer. And slowly but surely, the mental patient ends up becoming actually really violent. He ends up slicing people's necks with a spatula. He ends up pretty much massacring a party that is for Merv's birthday. And the lights end up going out, and the mental patient's name is the Looney. Like, that's the name Merv and Anki give him, Looney. And the lights go out, and you hear just whoosh, 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 whoosh. And then the lights go back on, and it's just a bloody mess. And so it's cleanup time then. They end up taking the Looney all the way out to a barren field, gives him a little doll that Anki made as part of the marketing for Looney. And there's a scene which I'll get to. It happens way earlier than this. But they leave Looney, and that's when Looney turns into a full-on psycho killer. He comes back to Merv's town and ends up slaughtering a whole bunch of people. And there's a scene where he's got like this big Larry Hagman head on, and I'm just like, really? I don't even know who Larry Hagman is, but really? Big head, big pinata head. Like, I chuckled at it, but then I'm like, really? So you've got gore. You've got language, like strong, perverse language. You've got perverse humor. You've got stupidity. You've got odes to different horror movies. There's also a horror movie ode to Blair Witch Project. and it's a pretty easy ode as well. Uh, they even say, "I am the Blair Witch," um, and overall, I thought this was a really well done movie. People said the acting in this sucks. Have you ever seen Feeders? Feeders 2, Sick, Sarah Lynn Satin Clown Killer, um, or quite possibly the first Terror Tunes. Yeah, I reviewed Terror Tunes and I talked positively of it, but the acting in it was nothing to run home about. This acting, though, I thought was really good. And the direction they went with it, they knew what kind of movie they were making. And they did a damn good job at it. So that scene I was talking about. Um, Merv and Anki are sitting in the car, and Anki is talking about marketing Looney dolls to kids. And it's a doll with a pull string that goes like, "I'm gonna kill you. Hug me. Hello." And then it runs out, and Anki's like, "Aw, it's broken. My sister liked licking its head and pulling its hole, sticking the finger in the hole. Uh, she couldn't get enough of it." And I'm like, ew. I mean, I get the joke, but it is pretty disturbing. Uh, they're talking while Looney is trying to get his first kill in, and he's Looney's walking in the woods, just minding his own business. He's got an axe in his hand. It's really dark out, and he ends up hearing a noise, and he's like, "I've got an axe!" And then he ends up hearing an even louder noise, and then he ends up running like a little girl, and he ends up making his way all the way back to Merv and Anki's car, and pretty much from there it's just one joke after another, uh, one horror shout out after another. Uh, you've also got a joke that is from like it's a joke pointed at From Dusk Till Dawn. Um, the overall, even though most people might not talk about atmosphere in a comedy, the atmosphere I thought was pretty cool. Like it looked like an actual town, like an actual town that anybody could live in. Uh, but from what I'm told, the town was actually just for a set, but who knows? It might actually be a real town. But the town itself looked cool, and the Salem's slots area I thought was pretty cool. Um, and the video store is called Red Hot Video, uh, which uh, the video store, the name is also the name of the video store that's in Terror Tunes 2. So I thought that was pretty cool. This movie was made in 2004 but wasn't released until 2006. Uh, I'm not going to go through all the special features, but there's a good amount. There's behind the scenes featurettes. Uh, there's skits. There's a skit about bum feeling. That's the joke in the movie where uh, you try to get the person to feel their own butt. Uh, music video, two commentaries. I listened to one of them. Um, it got 4 stars. and it was called Astoundingly Funny. A wild, woolly sledgehammer to the face of Hollywood conformity. One of the finest indie horror comedies of the year, and a winner from the Rhode Island Horror Film Festival in Rhode Island, of course, and a bloody buddy comedy. A bloody buddy movie. I mean, let's see. If anybody's wondering what the discs look like, there they are. I got this for $2, and it was well worth it. Brand new. Well, it's not new anymore because I watched it, but I bought it brand new. So what do I give Freak Out? Even though I don't really review a whole lot of comedies, um, I do like comedies though, so yeah. I'll give this movie. Uh, I'm stuck between a 7 and an 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely check it out if you love. It's not really a spoof, but it's more or less just a big comedy just focused on what we love in horror. It takes all the horror tropes and turns it into a funny thing. Bec- and it doesn't make fun of any particular horror movies. Well, you could consider the fact that the killer is dressed up like Jason, well, the head part, anyways. But it's not making fun of Friday the 13th. Uh, it's just looking like Jason. So, anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed my review slash rambling over Freak Out from 2006. Well, which it actually was made in 2004. But hopefully you all enjoyed this movie review, and I'll be back at some point for another one. So, anyways, peace.